Welcome back. Part 2 of creating linear functions. So we've already looked at the top of this worksheet where we had the cooking pot. We looked at where I give you M and B to form a linear function, easy breezy lemon squeezy, because you have the proper ingredients. And now we're on this section where y equals mx plus b is not very effective because we don't have the proper ingredients. But here, we do have a new formula, right? There's really 3 formulas that we can use to form a linear function. And the one that we need is called point slope because they're giving me a slope and a random point. So first thing we do is write the formula down. Now, Miss Miller, I don't want to memorize this formula. It looks really spicy. I appreciate that. I have this formula on my wall and a beautiful poster that I created. So formulas are up on my wall. I don't really require kids to memorize formulas because when you become an adult, you just Google the heck out of formulas and then we look it up. To me, what's more important is, do you know how to use that formula? Could you Google it and find the formula? Do you know how to use this? Okay, so memorizing formulas, I get, but I don't think that's necessary. I want to know, can you use this formula? Now this formula is beautiful, called point slope. We're going to create a linear function, and that's when I give you a point and a slope to use. So our first step is to write the formula down. Second step is to drop in our ingredients. We know that m goes here. Let's label our beautiful point. Remember, the first coordinate of this point is x, and the second is y. That never changes. It's always x first, and then y. I like to call it point 1 because that's really the only point I see. And we do the second part of this lesson, you're going to go, oh, I see why it's so important to label that point. Cool beans. Now we're going to drop in the 4, bloop, bloop, and we're going to drop in a -3. Well, that's going to be interesting. So go ahead, if you haven't done this already, which I hope you did because I asked you to do 2 and 3, go ahead and drop in these numbers. So y minus, now what is y1? Oh, that's a -3. Got a double negative going there. -1/2 x minus 4. Okay, so I can see that I need to tackle this double negative. What is a double negative? A negative times a negative is right, it's positive. I like to circle it, kind of make it into like a little happy face guy. So now that side's going to be y plus 3. Can you see that? Yeah, I think you can see that. Equals negative, we can distribute on this side right away, I guess, too. -1/2 times x. Remember, when there's a number in front of parentheses, it's indicating that you need to multiply. We call that distribution. You're welcome to call it either word. -1/2 times x. Well, any wildly unattractive fraction like this times a letter is just that same fraction with a letter attached to it. I don't think half is wildly unattractive, just to be honest. Half is a pretty nice fraction to work with. Now the next one is where we need to be cautious. So what's a negative times that negative? What's a negative times a negative again? Right, positive. And here's the part that we need to be really careful about, this fraction. It's saying 1/2 times 4. Now 1/2 times 4 in my brain does nothing. But if you say 1/2 of 4, of is another word for multiply. I don't know if you know that, but of works way better in my brain. So when I say 1/2 of 4, so if I have 4 and I chop it in half, bloop, it's going to be 2, right? Boop. So let's review our steps so far. We wrote the formula down, check. We put in the ingredients in the proper location, check. We took care of double negatives and distributed, fancy word for multiply. And then now we're going to get the y guy alone because Mr. Y guy is a loner, he is. So we're going to -3 from both sides because that's the opposite of +3, and y equals -1/2 x. Ooh, be careful here. Be very careful here. You got to ask yourself, what is this saying? You owed your friend $3. Cool. You pay your friend back $2. Cool. Do you still owe your friend money? Yes, $1. I need to get a drink of water. Make sure you have all those steps written down. Ms. Miller, how do I get good at this? Practice. I've had to practice all of this back in the day. I didn't get to skip Algebra 1. I was a regular kid. I had to take it too. Practice. There's no substitution for practice. I don't care in life, there's just no substitution for practice. And if there was some kind of like way that you could do it quicker, trust me, I'd be the first gal that's going to show you that. But this takes time. And I'll be honest, it's not that bad. Write the formula down. I have it right there on the wall. Plug in the numbers. Just drop them in. Tackle double negatives, multiply, get Mr. Y guy alone. It just takes practice. The first time you tried to walk, it wasn't a great experience, I can guarantee you. Because I have a grandson, and he's just now crawling. And that's chaos, because he just learned, right? But when he gets practice down, he's going to be a pro. And then he'll learn how to walk, and then it's going to be chaos again. If you haven't tackled that last one, let's take a look. First step, write the formula down. Second step, fill in the ingredients. Third step, multiply. Fourth step, get Y guy alone. Go for it. You can pause the video too if you need to, so you can give it a roll. Okay, here we go. I'm going to write the formula down. I'm going to drop in my ingredients. Label. Watch out for any double negatives, so be cautious. We have Y minus, because that's part of the formula. Let's see who Y1 is. Ooh, that's a -6. So con cuidado. You got to be careful right there. Now we're going to go with -5, x minus 1. Cool. All right. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Go in there, double negative. So I got Y plus 6. Does this color show up okay? Yeah, shows up okay. And now, ooh, be careful. This is the first time, no, it's not. I take that back. You had to distribute with a negative here too. Just be careful with the negatives. -5 times x is just -5x. This is the part that you need to be careful. A negative times a negative, 5 times 1. Now it's not addition, so don't put a 6 right there. Common error. Now, Y guy needs to be alone. Cool. If you owed your friend $6, you paid your friend back $5, you still owe your friend that $1. You owe $1. Make math real, because math is real. That's why math is so wonderful. It's very real, okay? So we've now created lines in 2 ways. We, one, created a line when we were given M and B. We used the formula Y equals MX plus B, dropped in the ingredients, easy breezy lemon squeezy. Level 2, it's kind of like a video game. This is level 2 here. I don't give you M and B. I give you M and a point. That old formula is not going to help us here. Nah. We have to use a new formula called point slope formula that also forms a linear function, but it uses our ingredients better, okay? Third level. Ooh. The third level of this is a whole nother ball game. Come back for video number 3. See ya. Thanks for coming.